Steven Gerrard's missed penalty. Steven Gerrard is a Liverpool and Premier League legend, but he wasn't always surrounded by world-class players, and between 2009 and 2013, the club never managed to finish above 6th in the league. Their worst campaign came under Roy Hodgson, who was sacked in January 2011, with Liverpool just 4 points clear of the relegation zone. Many believe the final nail in his dismissal came in a game against Blackburn Rovers. Liverpool were 3-1 down when they were awarded a spot kick at Ewood Park. Gerrard, an impeccable penalty taker, stepped up. He rubbed the Liverpool badge, looked over at Hodgson, and side-footed the ball over the crossbar. The captain had made it clear, intentionally or not, that a change had to be made. Until this day, many fans believe he did it on purpose. The Bela Goodman curse. Hungarian coach Bela Goodman was appointed Benfica boss in 1959, and in 1961, Benfica beat Barcelona 3-2 to win the European Cup. In 1962, they faced Real Madrid in the final, and once more, they were victorious. Riding high after consecutive European Cups, Goodman requested a pay rise, but the club refused, and the justifiably angry Hungarian manager reportedly said, "Not in 100 years from now will Benfica ever be a European champion." Since he made that comment, Benfica have gone 0-8 in European finals, leaving their total record at 2 out of 10. To prove that this is only a conspiracy theory, Benfica will have to win a continental trophy before 2062, with the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League all viable curse breakers. So we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. The Paulo Dybala conspiracy. There are two theories concerning Paulo Dybala. The first is that he does not exist and no one has ever actually watched him play. You can check out the original Twitter thread in the description. The more interesting theory is that Dybala is Lionel Scaloni's son from the future, and he can't play because it will create a paradox, only intervening at crucial times, like blocking Mbappe's shot and scoring a penalty in the World Cup final. There's some time travel involved for sure. Here's a picture of Menotti and Bellardo talking to Scaloni in the 70s, well before any of them had won the World Cup as managers, and before Scaloni was born in 78. Now obviously this theory is absolute nonsense, but it's fun to indulge from time to time. Lasagna Gate. In May 2006, 10 members of the Tottenham Hotspur squad were struck down with illness on the eve of one of the biggest matches in recent Spurs history after having a dodgy lasagna for dinner. In their final league game of the season, Spurs only needed to match the result of Arsenal to secure a place in the 2006-07 Champions League. This would be the first time since 1961-62 that Spurs had played in Europe's premier club competition. Without the likes of Michael Carrick, Aaron Lennon and Robbie Keane, Tottenham requested to the Premier League that the game be delayed, but the police would not allow a later kickoff than 5 PM due to crowd concerns. Spurs lost 2-1 to West Ham and finished 5th after failing to match Arsenal's result. Many fans refused to believe that foul play wasn't involved, from blaming the chef to the Arsenal players who were conveniently staying at the neighbouring Four Seasons hotel. Meanwhile, Jermaine Defoe pointed the finger at his former club. Something has definitely gone on here. One of the West Ham lads has done something to the food. Tests by the Health Protection Agency on the food at the hotel soon proved to be negative for sources of food poisoning, but Spurs fans aren't buying it. Doping. It's a fact that doping takes place in football, but it seems like a lot of the time it flies under the radar, and because of a lack of concrete evidence, it begins to fall under the conspiracy theory umbrella. Some notable conspiracies include the Russian side in the 2018 World Cup and the South Korean side in the 2002 World Cup, both of which had tournament-leading numbers for distance covered. Then there is Bayern Munich during lockdown, where the team doubled in size, particularly Leon Goretzka, who made this transformation in just 4 months. Bribery and corruption. Again, it's a fact that corruption is rampant in football, but it's another area where concrete evidence is lacking, so accusations turn into conspiracies. From hot and cold lottery balls for the knockout draw, to every single World Cup bid ever, it's hard to argue it's a fair game, and there is no better example of this than the 2002 World Cup. Co-host South Korea seemed to have a helping hand during the tournament, which became obvious during their match against Italy in the round of 16. The ill-tempered encounter ended in 9 yellow cards, with 2 of those going to Francesco Totti, whose supposed dive led to a second yellow in extra time. But referee Byron Moreno's worst offence came just moments before, when he ruled out a perfectly legitimate Damiano Tomasi goal for offside. South Korea won the game 2-1, and 9 years later, that same referee was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for drug trafficking. The 2013 Balon d'Or. On the same night Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick to fire Portugal through to the World Cup finals in Brazil, FIFA confirmed that the voting procedure for the Balon d'Or had been extended for another week, and there was also now the option to revise your decision. It was a trophy that many believed Franck Ribéry deserved, but in the end, the Frenchman finished third on the podium behind Lionel Messi and the winner Cristiano Ronaldo. Fans believe that FIFA had a long and calculated plan to project Messi and Ronaldo as the two faces of the sport, and when Ribéry beat them out in the voting, they had to make some changes. Ribéry himself claims that the Balon d'Or was stolen from him, and you can't blame him. He was working against forces you just can't beat. Wilfred Zaha's United career. Sir Alex Ferguson's last signing for Manchester United was promising Crystal Palace winger Wilfred Zaha. He had all the tools to succeed and was featuring heavily in the pre-season under David Moyes, before being mysteriously dropped. This is where the rumour that he had a relationship with Moyes' daughter arose, and it was the reason that he was out of the team. Not many people actually believe the rumour, but it seems Patrice Evra does.
I remember, I think what's real is Kai for Manchester United is when he had this true affair with David Moyes' daughter. But because I remember the pre-season he was playing every game, brilliant. When that news come out of the game, and he disappeared. But what a player.
Away kit. It's widely believed that Villarreal and Burnley do not actually have away kits. Villarreal always play in yellow, and Burnley are always in claret. And this is actually almost true. The majority of teams don't use their away or third kits more than a few times each in a season. But obviously, it exists. Trophy Heist. In 1983, the original Jules Rimet World Cup trophy was stolen. Until this day, it hasn't been recovered. A banker and football club agent called Sergio Peralta was the mastermind of the theft. Peralta engaged two other men, an ex-police officer called Francisco Rivera and a decorator, Jose Luis Vieira. The two men entered the Brazilian Football Confederation's building and after incapacitating the night watchman, stole the trophy. The trophy was not made of solid gold. It could not be melted into gold bars, and it would be worth much more if left intact, which is why the theory is that the original Jules Rimet is actually resting in some billionaire or politician or criminal's personal collection. Syrian Gun Smugglers. We are finishing the video with the most outlandish theory out there. It's the conspiracy that Messi and Pedro were replicating the roots of gun smugglers in Syria with a goal they scored in a Clasico match. In the second leg of a Copa del Rey match against Real Madrid, Messi made one of his patented Messi runs, dribbling through and around trouble and finding Pedro inside the box to slot it home. According to Syrian state-run TV station Adunia, the whole thing was staged to show Syrian rebels watching at home the best route for smuggling guns into war-torn Syria. It's widely accepted that the video was created as a gag or an attempt to embarrass the Syrian leadership, who played right into it by broadcasting it as fact. Let me know any other crazy theories, and thanks for watching.